Do not let the vibrant, almost cartoony art style of the Cycle Frontier fool you into letting your guard down in this hardcore sci-fi extraction shooter. The second you relax in this game, you'll find yourself nose to barrel of an enemy shotgun, or perhaps knee-deep in a nest of hostile alien monsters ready to tear you limb from limb. The Cycle has been a really fun project to play and watch as it's evolved and matured into what it is today, a fantastically imaginative and free-to-play extraction looter shooter that's surprisingly easy to get into, but still offers all the hardcore combat and surprisingly punishing gameplay that you might expect from this genre. Now I'd like to give a huge shout out to the Cycle Frontier for sponsoring this video. Season 2 for this game just went live on the 28th. It is free on Steam and you should absolutely check it out with the link in the description. In my opinion, it is one of the better free-to-play offerings on Steam right now, at least for the FPS crowd, and that's saying a lot considering just how competitive that market is. Now, I've been following the Cycle Frontier since its early access release way back in 2019 when it was just called The Cycle. It was a pretty different game back then, and while its original design had some fun and unique elements to it, the updated design, aka the Cycle Frontier, turns it into a much more hardcore experience. Lurking around, hunting other players, grouping up, agreeing not to fight or negotiate at times over loot, every round can turn into a completely different experience or adventure.
I'm friendly.
Alright, man, we can be peaceful, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm a peaceful dude. I'm gonna head north. Take care, man. Good luck.
All right, you too. Now the premise of this game, I gotta say, is cool. It's the future, we have interstellar travel, and this game takes place on a space station that orbits the planet Fortuna 3. Prospect Station acts as a home base to prospectors, aka mercenaries, that are tasked with going down to the planet on various retrieval quests, and then extracting back up to the station via dropships. Of course, the wildlife, other players, and even the vicious storm systems can end your retrieval runs prematurely. Fortuna 3 is also littered with abandoned settlements and lore, which are all part of the game's backstory. Stylistically, I think the Cycle does a fantastic job of setting the backdrop for exploring an alien world and fighting other prospectors for the valuable riches that it holds. Now, I do have to warn you that it is easy to get hooked on this game. Hopping back in, I absolutely did get hooked. It's super addictive. I'm a sucker for well-crafted sci-fi worlds and skill-based PvP combat, and often you're going to run into players who are no pushover either. The second I felt like I was running the place, I would casually stroll into a building, not check my corners, and get blasted by somebody with a shotgun. You simply have to be on guard at all times. The sound in this game is going to be your primary alert system for enemies being nearby. Footsteps are pretty loud, so you can hear people coming, and if you're in a building, sometimes all you have to do is just kind of stop moving or move real slowly and wait. It can be pretty brutal to just absolutely end someone who isn't ready for you. That being said, if you botch an ambush, there's a ton of ways for your opponent to escape in this game, and the longer that a firefight goes on, the greater the chance of a third party coming by to get the jump on you. Running into noisy areas where it's hard to track people, using smoke grenades, or even just using the local creatures to create natural barriers can sometimes be enough to make a quick getaway. And while certainly better gear will give you an advantage in combat, it never ever guarantees the win. For example, take a look at this drop. Somebody almost happened to catch me right as I'm coming out of my drop pod. They miss a sniper shot on me as I'm running out. This particular mission, I only decided to bring a pistol because I was specifically going after a pistol assignment, and I just didn't feel like loading up on extra gear, so I was horribly outclassed. The sniper in this situation decided to push me. They had a shotgun pistol as a secondary. A sniper and shotgun combo is extremely good, assuming that you actually hit your shots. Lucky for me, my opponent missed and I didn't. And this person probably punched their monitor off the desk after losing this fight because they just spawn camped somebody who had a horrible loadout and lost with a fairly good loadout. Basically, anything can happen, and of course, the second you bring your best gear into combat, you often end up losing it. That's just how things tend to go. I personally really ended up enjoying the Manticore Assault Rifle, just a fantastic all-around weapon. I managed to loot enough of them off of my victims and kept them going for as long as I could, but otherwise it's a fairly low-level unlock from the Osiris faction, and it seems like a nice go-to for people who want a good all-rounder weapon. There's all kinds of fun ways to gank people in this game. The dropship gank is brutal. Somebody calls in a dropship, which everyone can see coming into land, and if you happen to be close enough by, you can risk rushing in to try and kill that person going for an extraction. It's of course very risky, as you usually have to sprint in, making yourself very loud, but it means if somebody's trying to extract, they often have something worth taking off of the world. The dimly lit areas in this game also provide a lot of visual cover, and I've been absolutely destroyed by people using that to their advantage multiple times now. Attacking somebody while they're fighting a creature is always funny. If they don't kill the creature and turn their attention towards you, the creature may end up killing them during the firefight, which is hilarious in my opinion. Now, because of the basic backpack sizes in this game being pretty small and the deaths are so quick and punishing a lot of the time, players seem more willing to stand down at times. I've had luck with it before when I have, say, a full backpack and I just don't have a lot to gain at that point by killing one more player, as I just won't be able to fit that much more loot in my pack. I'll just yell on comms, I'll say friendly, and somebody will often back down from a fight. Players seem to want to be able to keep their loot more often than not, so if people aren't engaging them or seem more willing to back down, often fights can be avoided, so it's kind of interesting in that sense. So the Cycle Frontier just gives you a lot of options in every situation. Do you want to escape? Do you want to fight? Do you want to negotiate? Do you want to work together with another player that you run into? You have lots of options at your disposal. Sometimes there'll be sporadic meteor storms that occur where everybody on the server sees them coming in, and those meteors will be filled with valuable minables, so everybody will run over to them usually, and of course either firefights will ensue, but sometimes players will work together. I had one where 4 players showed up and we all just agreed not to shoot while we all mined what was there and then just went our separate ways. You want to be friendly?
Friendly.
Alright, you want to mine some? I'll mine some.
Onward. Yeah, that's it.
Often it's the case where the loot that we get from somebody might not be worth that much, whereas the loot that we're negotiating over is actually going to be worth a lot more than what we might get out of fighting each other. Now, the latest Season 2 update brings a new campaign, which will send players to a third map called Theros Island. This location is so hazardous and challenging that it's only available to veteran players who have progressed through enough of their main quests already. Theros Island has some really cool new technology hidden within the depths for prospectors willing to risk the journey. In fact, most of the Cycle Frontier is very much a risk versus reward equation like that. Bring in your good gear for a drop and you could do better and haul away more, but you also risk losing it all. Season 2 also brings in a new battle pass with unlockable rewards, cosmetic items, a new gear perk system, plus some additional features. A nice thing about this is that I legitimately got sucked into the game, and at no point did I feel like spending money would have given me a combat advantage. Some of the best PvP guns are pretty accessible, and then when it comes to late game PvE stuff, it seems mostly mission based anyway. Money is primarily tied to cosmetics, so good on the devs for creating a system that feels very fair to both paying and non-paying players. Now, the latest update also brings a whole new host of anti-cheat features, which is always good news, plus the higher level content being accessible only to players who have completed lots of quest trees means that cheaters who get caught and banned won't be able to just buy a new account and get back online to harass people in the endgame content. They'll have to grind their way back back through tons of mission trees and stuff, so it means there's now multiple ways of protecting that endgame content. Now really, I think The Cycle Frontier is a game that probably a lot more people tried way back in the early access days, but if you haven't tried it since it's become the much more hardcore looter shooter experience, it's absolutely worth getting back into. I've been enjoying it a lot. It gets my heart absolutely racing at times. There's interesting adventures to be had, deep progression trees to unlock, and now a whole new map that comes with Season 2's update. It's also incredibly well optimized, which is fantastic. It looks great and runs smooth as butter. What more do you really want from a free-to-play shooter? Go check it out. I honestly think more people need to try this game out right now. It's fun, it's exotic, it's got cool alien content, emergent gameplay, and it's just as punishing as any other extraction style FPS that I've played. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this game if you've been playing it so far. And as always, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.